So you're interested in making filmmaking your full-time profession, but you're not quite sure of the steps you need to take to make that happen. Maybe you've been working another job while making videos here and there and finding some success. Perhaps you've even had some referrals and repeat business. However, when you look at the rates you're charging right now and factor in how many clients you need to make a real sustainable income, you might feel discouraged. Well, however challenging or unlikely it might feel right now, I'm here to tell you that it is possible not just to make a living, but also a sizable income from video production. So in this video, I'm going to share some tips from my 10 years of experience working across the world as a filmmaker to help you get on the right track to making some real progress. Before I get started, I want to invite you to join me in my free 1-hour business filmmaking training that I put together, where I'll show you 10 actionable steps that you can start putting into practice right away. If you find the steps in this video useful, then my free training is a great complement to what we'll talk about today and will give you even more insights and actionable steps. Alright, so let's dive into 5 key steps to help you achieve a full-time income with your filmmaking business. Make sure you stay tuned until the end because each tip builds upon the last, and finally I'll be sharing a bonus tip too. Tip number 1 is calculate what it's really going to take to go full-time. Before you can achieve any goal, you must first clearly define what it is. Without clear markers for success, you won't be able to measure your progress or gauge if you're on target. This is especially true for financial targets because, although it may not be the sexiest place to start, at the end of the day it's what will determine whether or not you can make this a full-time occupation rather than just a hobby. I know that from both my own experience and that of my students, the finances can become confusing and overwhelming, especially when you've got so many other areas of the business to be focusing on. So right now I'd like to boil it down to the key essential ingredients that you need to go full time. First things first, start with working out how much you need to make per year. Take into account your overheads, rent, subscriptions, living costs and so on. Be honest with yourself and don't underestimate. The goal here isn't to just get by, rather you want to set yourself a target that represents a comfortable level of living and gives you the things you need to run your business effectively. Time really is your most valuable asset, and one of the best ways you can use money is to free up your time so you can focus on the things that matter to you most. Once you've found your annual income number, you want to break it down into easy, manageable chunks. Start by dividing by 12 for months and then by 4 for weeks. For example, while making $50,000 a year may sound like a lot for some people, when you break it down, you only need to make $1,042 per week. Breaking big goals down into manageable chunks is the easiest way to plan. And be honest with yourself, is this weekly income figure a number that you're comfortable with? Or is it completely out of proportion to what you're used to? It should be enough of an increase to challenge you, but not so much that it puts you off completely. The temptation to begin with is to massively overestimate how much we need to make, and this puts a lot of people off. Your first income goals don't need to be $1 million a year if that's not really what you need. Start with manageable steps and review regularly rather than trying to do it all at once. Now that you know how much money you need to go full time, tip number 2 is to work out how much you need to charge. This is done by finding your minimum level of engagement, or your MLE. This is a vital number to know, and it represents the lowest amount you can charge while still supporting yourself and growing your business. So to calculate your MLE, simply divide the number of clients that you want to work with per year by the target you just calculated in the previous step. But how do you know how many clients you should be working with per year? For example, if you want to make $50,000 a year, do you aim for 25 clients at $2,000, 10 clients at $5,000, or 2 clients at $25,000 each? Well, the good news is there's an answer. The proven sweet spot for a creative firm is 10 clients. You want to be working with around 10 clients per year while hitting your financial targets. When we go over the 10 client mark, we dilute our level of service. With more than 10 clients, it's unrealistic to provide the attention and care that each client needs to give them a high quality service. You can think of this like diminishing returns, where the benefits or profit gained starts to decrease while the amount of energy or money invested remains the same. When you start to compromise your service by taking on more clients, not only will your existing clients notice, but your stress levels will undoubtedly go up with the extra admin work. After years of taking on too many clients, I finally settled on a quality over quantity approach, where I had fewer higher paying clients rather than lots of smaller lower paying ones. While it may have felt like a hit at first, in the long term it freed up huge amounts of time to focus on delivering a higher quality service to the clients that really valued my work, and in turn I was able to charge considerably more. Given the option, if you had a target of $50,000, you're better off with 5 clients, each paying $10,000, rather than 10 paying $5,000. However, with that said, early on in a business it's not always that clear cut, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't plan ahead and set yourself clear targets. You can only get to where you want to go when you have a clear picture of the destination, and having a clear vision is a big part of what being an entrepreneur is all about. So, next time you're offered a low-paid gig, just be aware of what it's really costing you. It may be that if you're trying to transition into a full-time career in video production, it's these projects that are under your minimum level of engagement that are holding you back. That's not to say that you shouldn't accept lower paid gigs when you're just starting out. In fact, they can be an important and necessary part of growing a business, but just be aware of how you go about it. And this leads me on to my third tip for you today, which is if you work for free or discount, do it right. When done correctly, free or discounted work can open new business opportunities and deals with clients that might otherwise have been out of reach. Instead of blindly accepting lower paid gigs or simply working for free, take a business savvy approach that helps you land your ideal clients and grows your business. It's common in the film and video industry for filmmakers to create spec commercials for companies like Nike or Coca-Cola without ever talking to the client first or considering a long-term strategy. Not only are these usually a waste of time, but they're a real missed opportunity. The trick is to aim for companies that you actually want to work with and speak to them first. Every company that would be fun to work with isn't necessarily a good fit for this kind of effort. You have to be really thoughtful about who's best for your business. The focus here is on projects that will give you leverage into your desired target market. A showstopper of a portfolio piece that you're proud to show to people. Make sure it's relevant and aligned with your business goals and objectives, so when you show it to a potential future client, they can really see the value of what you offer. On a free or discounted project, always set clear boundaries and make sure you negotiate how the video will be used. Ensure that your business and website is credited wherever the work is shown. I recommend taking on projects like these every 3 or 4 months while your business is growing, but not more often than that. Oftentimes, doing one of these projects at a free or low cost rate can lead to higher paying contracts. I've had several clients where I've used this strategic discounted approach and then signed multiple $1,000 deals. The reason I've been able to do this has been thoughtful strategy with my business goals in mind. Tip number 4 is don't overinvest in equipment. One of the most common mistakes I see video creators make is spending thousands of dollars on camera equipment without having work lined up to pay it off. Sometimes without even a single job. This approach is not business savvy and it's not an investment. First and foremost, before splashing out on a new camera or set of lenses, learn how to speak to the businesses and solve their problems first. This is by far the most valuable skill that you can have as a business owner. Nowadays, it's so easy to borrow equipment. You can line up a paid video project first, then get the equipment once you know there's money coming in. If you don't know someone personally with a camera, rental houses charge 2% of the total value, which makes it a much less risky and more business savvy decision than splashing out 10 grand on a camera that may put you in debt for years. If you have capital to start your business, don't make the same mistakes everyone else does. Invest in developing your own skills and knowledge. Find mentors, read books, learn from courses, and attend workshops. Unlike a camera which will depreciate year on year, if you develop your sales and marketing skills, you'll set yourself up for success for life. The other benefit of not blowing all your cash on equipment is that you'll be able to hire people to fill in your weaknesses. For example, if sales isn't your strong suit, then you'll have capital to hire a salesperson, and ultimately you'll be able to focus on what you do best. Tip number 5 is be willing to go that extra mile for your clients. In the early days of your business, your product may not be up to the standard of your competition, but that doesn't mean your service can't be exceptional. This is especially true if the client is sticking their neck out and taking an extra risk by working with a production company that has less of a track record and portfolio to show. Put yourself in the shoes of your client and think about the things that they would really appreciate. Perhaps it's a call or email every few days with a project update. Perhaps it's offering to buy them lunch and discuss plans. Perhaps it's extra advice on how to distribute and optimize their videos for the web. Try and give them a full level of service so they never even consider going somewhere else. And make them feel like hiring you was the best decision they ever made. Doing this with your first clients will set you up for success and make them lifelong happy customers. Remember, it's much easier and takes less time, money and energy to work with your existing clients than it is to go out and find entirely new ones. Maintain good relationships and provide exceptional service, and in return, your clients will value you more and become your raving fans. Give them no reason to want to go elsewhere and every reason to recommend you to their friends. Last but not least, and my bonus tip for you today, is to put sales systems and strategies in place as soon as you can. While many video business owners get their start through referrals, this is not a consistent or reliable way to grow a business. When we simply rely on other people to recommend us or for the phone to ring, we're not in control of our financial futures, nor are we in control of the type of work that we do. How can you achieve the income targets we discussed in tip number 1 if you're relying on word of mouth and recommendations? On the other hand, a business that has sales and marketing systems in place can set up predictable systems for achieving those targets. Your sales funnel is the lifeblood of your business, and while it might seem like a lot to think about at first, when you break it down into small chunks, it's actually very manageable. This is what I go into great detail on in my full course, Video Business Mastery: how to create powerful and effective sales systems that consistently bring in new high-paying clients. And right now, you can check out my free 1-hour training video, which is basically like a free trial to the course, so don't miss that while it's still available, and I'll leave a link in the description below. Ultimately, the key to transitioning to full-time filmmaking is having a consistent and reliable source of clients that are willing to pay the rates you deserve. This begins with having clearly defined goals and putting sales systems and strategies in place early on so you can support yourself while the business grows. Before you go, let me know in the comments below what your number 1 challenge is at the moment. Are you considering making video production your full-time income? Perhaps you're trying right now and there's something holding you back. Let me know and I'll do my best to answer every question. I hope you found this video useful, don't forget to subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.